Good morning. You don't know it's morning. It's basically morning. It's 10. So it's not morning anymore. Anyway, I recently went to my farmer's market and found wild garlic. It is in season right now, but I haven't had the time to go out and forage it myself. Luckily enough, the farmers that I use, they have wild garlic in their local area, and they're also selling it at the farmer's market. They're amazing. Anyway, I got a jar of it. Wild garlic has this amazing herby, very garlicky, very strong scent. It's amazing in pestos, dressings, salads, all kinds of things. I love using wild herbs as much as possible. It just gives your food the extra, kick. I don't have time to make pesto right now. So what I thought could be a good idea to do instead is that I'm gonna take my wild garlic, I'm gonna dehydrate it in my dehydrator. Yeah, and we're gonna make a powder. And that powder can be used in pasta dishes, in soups, in sauces, all kinds of things. It makes it last a lot longer, so I don't have it going bad on me. So we're going to make a wild garlic powder today in the dehydrator. You can also use your oven. It's more energy efficient to use a dehydrator. It uses less energy. Let's make wild garlic powder. I've divided the wild garlic onto the different sheets, and I tried to not let them overlap too much, but I think it will be fine. They're going to shrink drastically in size, so I think we're good. Well, let's put this into the dehydrator, and I will see you in 5 hours. By the way, this is also an amazing opportunity for me to try my dehydrator while it's positioned in my little shelf system here. I haven't done that before. So it's roughly 7 hours later, and look at the state of these. Some of the stems are not dry, but we also primarily need the leaves, and those bad boys are crispy. Firstly, I set the dehydrator for 5 hours, and then I gave them 2 hours more. And then I actually just let that time run out, and it's now the next day. So now we have to turn it into a powder, and for that I don't have an automatic or like an electric spice grinder, but I do have this and nothing better to do, so that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, I'm just gonna take the first sheet. I've done this with many different things, so what I usually do is that I take a little bit at a time into my little grinder here, and then I use my sieve and I strain it into this glass, and then I have my powder. Trying to grind those is just, it's gonna mess the whole thing up, so I try to sort through things a little bit. It smells so good. Like that. Look at this beautiful green powder. Look at that. Oh yeah. All I have to do is transfer the powder into this jar, because this is actually one of my good jars, so I don't want to use it for that. I want to use this instead. Yes, there are absolutely better jars than others. If you know, you know. Now here is my small jar of wild garlic powder. We are just gonna put him on the shelf. Sometimes the best you can do is try to romanticize your life with tiny, small details, small things that just make even menial everyday tasks seem a lot more exciting. And one of those things for me right now is a wicker basket. This is actually my grandmother's, but I use it to go to the farmer's market. It's a lot easier to see what I have. It's also easier for my farmer to find out what I have, weigh things, see how much I need to pay, etc. This is a lot easier than having tons of different, non-transparent canvas bags. So it's a lot more convenient, and it is so cute. This is straight up romanticizing, simply just doing my grocery shopping, and I am there for it. Also, I just went to have my knives sharpened, so I am so excited to try to cut with them now. Sharp knives is everything, and these knives I get sharpened professionally. Anyway, today's one of those days where I have some work, which I'll need to do, but I also just really want to deep clean the entire apartment. So we're gonna do that. Pretty sharp. I could literally do this for ages. Apparently I couldn't. Just vacuum low-key. Sometimes when I find stuff like this, I just want to chop all my hair off in one clean swoop. Just whoosh. By the way, this isn't even my vacuum cleaner. Because I'm so fortunate to live in an apartment building with 3 of my friends, I am just borrowing their vacuum cleaner. So instead of going out and buying my own thing, I'm just using theirs until they say that I can't. And that's also sustainable. That is also indeed zero waste. It's annoying, but it works. So I am making a 3-course dinner, 4-course dinner if you count a palate cleanser. I'm making a dinner for my family tomorrow, and the palate cleanser is going to be a cucumber gazpacho that I am also featured in my book, and I've grown really fond of. I've made it many times now, love it. We're gonna add some white wine to it, and I had a little bit of this yesterday, and I put the cork in too well, and none of my neighbors are home, so that's, I'm so inclined to use my teeth, but I feel like I shouldn't. One second. Okay, just a normal pair of pliers. Yeah. Feminism. This table is slightly different from the one I set in the previous video, but I really like this as well. And this is for 4 people instead of 2. So I try to, because I don't have 4 of everything, which is very much on purpose. So I try to mix and match, but in sort of a structured way. So we have 2 of the same plates here, and yeah, simply just to make it look less messy. We have the same napkin there as that, and then there as that. You see the point. Good evening. It's the same day I just put on my robe because it's officially 6 o'clock in the evening and I have no evening plans today. So I put on my robe. I'm not ready to go to bed, but I'm just going to sit in my bed, eat my food, watch my show, maybe do a little bit of work, drink a glass of wine, and just relax. I recently turned in the script to my cookbook, and it has been a really tough, amazing, interesting process, but I am so not burned out, but I'm worked out for sure. So I am trying to take a couple of minutes in the grand scheme of things to simply just sit and exist without having to do something, without shaming myself for relaxing, without thinking about what I need to do next, simply just pure existence, which is not something I have allowed myself to do a whole lot. So that's what we're doing today. Hence the robe. I had a couple of friends over yesterday for one of my favorite dishes in the whole world. It's a vegan version of shahi paneer. It is so good, so delicious. I make it roughly once a month, if not more. I make it a lot. Had some friends over yesterday and I have leftovers, so I'm going to take my shahi paneer leftovers. I just eat it with a piece of naan and then just sit in bed, drink my wine, eat my food. Pure joy in existence. Okay. Yes. I didn't want to heat the things up separately, so I heated up the sauce and the rice and just mixed everything together. Then I have my naan. Usually I make my plate look a lot nicer than this, to be honest. But this is one of my favorite dishes, both because it's super tasty and also because you can get all the ingredients zero waste. This is what I meant by pure joy. Pure joy of just existing. And we have the shahi paneer. So I have been cooking. It's 1 o'clock. I've been cooking since 9. It's fine. I'm also basically prepped and ready for tonight. I'm very excited about this. I've had a little bit of sort of like a stressy feeling, and one of the ways I cope usually is by cooking. So this is perfect for me. So I've prepped basically, and I'll take you guys through everything that's sort of happening in the kitchen right now, if you find that entertaining. Otherwise, we'll get back to some other types of regularly scheduled programming in a second. However, this is what the kitchen looks like right now. First of all, I don't have room in the kitchen for all the plates I need to use tonight, so I put up this little table here so I can go and grab them super easily. Then right here we have the table itself. Okay, moving over to the actual kitchen, I have all my tuile laid out. Different kinds that I need. I made these today. And for the first dish, this is what we'll be looking at. I'll put some filling into these little bowls that I made, and it's gonna be great. Then I just did the rest of my dishes so everything is clean and ready. I don't want to both cook and also do some cleaning, so we're not going to do that at all. And over here we have the bits that we need here. This is going into the oven in a second. I am back to using normal baking sheets for this because, yeah, I couldn't fit the silicone one into this oven tray, so here we are. Here I have my bordelaise sauce. This has been reducing since 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's just gonna stand here for a little while, and in 2 hours I'll start to sort of let it simmer once again. And this inside here is my piece de resistance. I say that about a lot of things, I mean it now. This is my vegan seitan roast, and it looks so much like meat. I have no idea what I did. Well, actually I know exactly what I did because I followed my own recipe that I also put in the upcoming cookbook, but I will also be making a recipe for the blog, so it's going to come up at some point, so you can make it as well and you can see it. It's so good. It's very low effort as well. I basically just used my food processor to make this, but it is so good. Right now it's just been simmering a couple of hours in a mixture of veggie broth and wine, and in around 4 o'clock I think I'll start to fry it up with some butter to get it nice and crispy on the outside, roast it just a tiny bit, so you'll get that crusty outside and then you cut into it, it's soft on the inside. So we're not going for the same consistency and texture all the way through. We're gonna make it a little bit more exciting to eat. So that's the plan. But I am just so stoked that it looks like this. Also just a tiny plant update, but I have really gone all out in terms of herbs. So we have sage and thyme, and we have parsley, and I have some small tiny things over there. And then I have forest sorrel. I cannot remember what it's called in English. Maybe it's forest sorrel. Parsley, and then I have my hydroponic system with some basil. And over here, kind of far away from the window, I have my rosemary because it is a little bit fragile in its constitution, I would say. So this is how I take care of it. I don't let it stand in direct sunlight for too long, and it's looking really well. If you're ever thinking, oh darn, I wish I could cook as well as they do in restaurants, 3 things: more salt, more fat, and fresh herbs. Those 3 things, if you use those correctly, you will definitely cook like you're in a restaurant. For sure. I still need to add the final touches, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to cut it open and have a taste test. Okay, so moment of truth. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's nice like this. I cannot wait to assemble my dish with this. I am a little bit in awe. This is so good. Alright. Good morning. It is 7:30. I woke up 6:30. I don't have any curtains in my bedroom, so I'm just waking up when it's light out. Honestly, that's pretty amazing. So I feel like I'm in a really good sleeping routine. I just took a shower, hence the attire. And I also just depotted, is that the term? I don't know, but the rest of my farmer's market peas. I'm just gonna let this sit here on the table and just have these as snacks throughout the day because I love peas. Even the ones without flavor, I don't know, they're just so incredibly satisfying to eat. Have a little bit of a morning beverage. And I really want to talk about what happened last night. I had my family over for what ended up being a 6-course dinner. I have a feeling that I'll end up having like these bigger arrangements, these multiple course dinners at least once a month. Also for content, because I want to show how to use the vegan fine dining recipes in actuality, etc, etc. But there was an ulterior motive yesterday. Firstly, because my family hasn't actually tasted that type of food from me. I've made like bigger meals, I made lasagna, I've made like bigger pot dishes, chilies, etc. And I have made Christmas dinner. Low key, I've worked on this for a year and they haven't had any of the food. So I really wanted to show them. Additionally, the foreword I've written for this book is about an ED that I have barely talked to my family about. And I'm being frank in this foreword because I want to explain where my passion and joy for food comes from. It comes from letting myself be too restricted for a really long time. I've barely spoken about this online as well. I have a video about diet culture and veganism where I talk a little bit about it, but I really don't want to get too personal into that, especially because I haven't told my family a lot about it. We haven't talked it through, which we did yesterday. I was so nervous, so scared to talk to them. I know they would be understanding, but I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want there to be a situation where they thought that I wasn't feeling safe coming to them, which was not the issue. The bottom line is talk to your friends and family if you're experiencing any of these things. I feel 10 pounds lighter today because I have been thinking about this for such a long time. I knew that I wanted to write a foreword about this type of thing, but I didn't want to write it and then have my family read it for the first time in the book with dozens of other people. I feel like that would be distasteful. So I've really been thinking about sort of how to talk to my family and explain these things and go into more detail. So amazing. I love my family more than words can explain. So I'm really, really happy that that went well. The reason why I am okay today is literally because one of my dearest friends came and talked to me and said, we're really fucking worried about you. So I'm gonna take you now and we're gonna go and talk to a specialist. Okay? Literally, I wouldn't have been able to talk about this like this if it wasn't for my network. So talk to your friends or reach out to your friends, do something. Okay, anyway, wow, good morning. Anyway, what we had, let me see if I can remember. The first dish was a little tiny salad. It was asparagus and peas in a little twill that I molded so it could look like a little bowl. I did like a little puree and a little queso dressing to put on top for some fattiness. That was the first dish. Then we had a baked celery with a bolognese sauce. Every time I have the option to, I make it. It's amazing. It takes a long time. It's so worth it. Intense flavor. And especially when you're working with vegetables, I feel like that's really good addition to it. The last appetizer was a peach carpaccio. This was just an experiment. I also glazed it in a little bit of wild garlic balsamic vinegar. Then the main course was a ponzan with a béarnaise sauce and my homemade seitan roast, which was a big success. And right now I've cut it up into tiny thin pieces to use as deli slices in sandwiches. It's so good. Then we had a palate cleanser. The palate cleanser was a cucumber gazpacho with white mushroom. Really, really nice. And also a twill on top because I'm obsessed with these things. I do them all the time. I don't know what's happening. The dessert was a warm rhubarb sauce in the bottom. Then I had a funnel cake on top with a lemon sherbet. And that was the dinner. My kitchen is looking okay. I did most of my dishes in my dishwasher while I was sleeping. By the way, the sandwich that I made is with a vegan mayo. We have some spinach, we have some green peppers. Then I have the deli slices from the roast. It looks so good. It looks very much indeed like roast beef, I don't know. But it's so nice, the texture is amazing. And then we have the last of the béarnaise sauce. Last update and then I'll be out of your hair. Just did my makeup and I have been annoyed with the tips of my hair for a long time. I am not a hairdresser kind of person. I should be though, because I could really need it sometimes. But today I just cut my own hair, took the last bits off right there. So now there's a little bit more volume, tried to make it look nice. I don't have an actual pair of hairdresser scissors. I just used this. It's not ideal, but that's what we did. Yeah. But I wanted to talk you through some of these sort of hair care products that I use or that I try to use that I could definitely be better at using, but that I love and that I at least use once a week. Probably should do it more. Anyway, I'm almost through with this. There's this much left. It's the Botanic Hair Oil from Living Naturally. I have showed you this a million times. It's supposedly only lasting for 6 months. I've had this for at least 3 years. Anyway, moving on. And the conditioner right now I'm using is this solid conditioner. This is from a Danish brand called Simple or Simpled. Yeah, Simpled, which means simple or simply. And they have made their own both shampoo and conditioner. They're really, really nice. I love the conditioner. It applies really easily. And yeah, it really makes a big difference because I have a tendency of not taking super good care of my hair. So this is coming at a really good time. Anyway, that's sort of the last chaotic update in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please let me know, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to do in these living alone series videos. Or if there's anything you are thinking or anything you have to say, let me know, share with the group. I love the community that takes shape in the comment sections to some of my videos that I am only a very small part of. So I love when you guys share and talk with each other, and just generally are really helpful and positive and supporting. It's amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and take really good care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!